Hello, grade 9 ICT students. This is teacher Geraldine again, and welcome back to another topic in computer system servicing. Your lesson is about plan and prepare for termination or connection of electrical wiring or circuit. Your learning competencies are: check materials according to specifications and tasks, select appropriate tools and equipment according to task requirements, follow planned tasks to ensure OHS guidelines and procedure, prepare electrical wiring or electronic circuits correctly for connecting or terminating in accordance with instruction and worksite procedures. And to guide you along with our discussion, here are questions for you. What are the components of electronic circuit? And how do you plan and prepare for the termination or connection of electronic wiring or circuit? Now, to start with our discussion, we have here two electrical theories, this one and this one. Can you name them, or are you familiar with the symbols or diagrams shown? Well, if you do, very good. So this one is direct current or DC. And of course, the other one is alternating current or AC. Direct current is the first type of current because it was easy to produce. This type of current always flows in one direction. And one of the disadvantages of using DC is the excessive voltage drop and power loss in the power lines in a long-distance transmission. So the most common source of direct current are the batteries. Alternating current. It is the solution to the problem of DC. What is it again? So DC, most likely there are power drops. So AC allows current to flow in two directions. Today, it is possible to step up electricity, a power station transmitted to any distance place, and step down for consumption. A transformer is the device used for stepping up or stepping down of AC voltage. The common sources of AC are found in our AC outlet, meaning like for example here in Escalante, we have the Noneco. So that is our source of alternating current. Typically, the Philippines have a regular voltage of 220 volts. So we have the components of a simple circuit. If you can look at the pictures and you're familiar with it, then very good. But if not, so just stay there and we will discuss each of them. Here are the components of a simple circuit. Number one, the AC-DC source, or others call it simply source. So equipment that will operate on either an AC or DC power source. So this is the symbol of our AC-DC source. AC, and this one DC. Another is the fuse. Fuse is a safety device used to protect an electrical circuit from the effect of excessive current. The current in the electric or in the circuit exceed a predetermined value, the fusible metal will melt and thus break or open the circuit. So this is our fuse. Number 3, wires and cables. This one. A wire is a single slender rod or filament of drawn metal. This definition restricts the term to what would ordinarily be understood as solid wire. The word slender is used because the length of a wire is usually large when compared to its diameter. A conductor is a substance in which electrical charge carriers, usually electrons, move easily from atom to atom with the application of voltage. So we have here the wires and cable. So the conductor that was talked about is this one, the metal part. We also have the switch. It is a device used to break an electric current or transfer it to another conductor. Switches are commonly used to open or close a circuit. Closed is the on position, while open is off position. And the load. The source drives a load. Whatever component or piece of equipment is connected to a source and draws current from a source is a load on that source. The following are examples but not limited to the bulb and the appliances. In our case here, this is the switch and this one is the load, our bulb. We also have here the two classifications of electronic component, the passive device and the active device. Passive device is one that contributes no power gain or amplification to a circuit or system. It has no control action and does not require any input other than a signal to perform its function. In other words, when we say passive device, it's a component with no brains. Examples are resistors, capacitors, and inductors. The other classification is the active devices. These are components that are capable of controlling voltages or currents and can create a switching action in the circuit. In other words, devices with smarts. Examples are diodes, transistors, and integrated circuits. So we have here examples of passive devices, the resistor, capacitor, and inductors. So resistor is the most common component in electronics. So this one that you can find always once you open or in the circuit board. So it is used mainly to control current and voltage within the circuit. So you can identify the resistor because of its cigar shape with a wire lead coming out of each end, this one. And it has different colors here. Actually, these have indicators. So what is the color is all about? The color-coded bands is used to identify the value of the component. Next, we have the capacitor. Capacitors or caps vary in size and shape from a small surface amount model up to a huge electric motor cap. The size of paint can whatever the size or shape, the purpose is the same. It stores electrical energy in the form of electrostatic charge. And last, we have the inductors. It is charged with a magnetic field, and when the field collapses, it produces current in the opposite direction. Inductors are used in alternating current circuits to oppose changes in the existing current. We already got the examples of passive devices. Now we have the active devices. Diodes, LED or light-emitting diode, transistors, and integrated circuits. The diodes are basically one-way valve for electrical current. They let it flow in one direction and not in the other direction. So most diodes are similar in appearance to a resistor. You can still remember, and will have a painted line in one end showing the direction of flow. The negative side is on the negative end of the circuit. Current will flow. If the negative is on the positive side, the current will not flow. So they have here light emitting diodes. So they are simply diodes that emit light of one form or another. They are used as indicator devices. Next we have the transistors. It is possibly the most important convention as of this time. It performs two basic functions. Number one, it acts as a switch turning current on and off, and the other, it acts as an amplifier. So this makes an output signal that is a magnified version of the input signal. And last, we have the integrated circuits or ICs. They are complex circuits inside one simple package. The silicon and metals are used to simulate resistors, capacitors, transistors, etc. It is a space-saving miracle. So we have here the electronic schematic symbols for wires and connections. And these symbols were already discussed from your previous quarter. We have a symbol for the wire, wires joined, wires not joined. For power supplies or source, we have the cell, the battery, and the earth ground. So make sure to familiarize yourselves with the symbol. We have the DC supply, AC supply for the fuse and transformer. How about for output devices or loads like lamps, heater, and motor? We have here the lamp, another for lamp indicator, and the heater. The motor, bell, buzzer, inductor. For switches, so we have the push switch, push to brake switch, and on-off switch. So this on-off switch is the most commonly used symbol that we have, or the basic one. We also have the two-way switch, dual on-off switch. And that's it for our discussion. It's time to check your knowledge. The components of electronic circuit are AC, DC source, fuse, wires and cables, switch, and load. OSH should be applied in planning and preparing for the termination or connection of electronic wiring or circuit. It is also important to know and understand the basic components of electronic circuit as well as the electronic symbols used. For your activities, so refer to your Quarter 3, Week 5, Class 3, Plan and Prepare for Termination or Connection of Electrical Wiring or Circuits. Then answer activities 1 and 2 in page 7 and then reflection in page 8. So once you're done, the same process goes. So you may send it online or offline. That will be all for this week, class. See you next week. Thank you for watching and listening. Goodbye, class. Have a great day.